Welcome to a new episode of the Mad Black Dad podcast. It is I, Mad Black Dad. It's been a while. It's been a long, long while. I have not recorded in months. Fortunately, I have been able to put out a couple Chef Dom Cook videos. But, things have been quiet podcast wise. So I just wanted to take a little time, do like a year end. Well, it's not even a year end wrap up, but this is more like it's like a catch up because it's been a long time. So like I said, still been shooting videos. Dom is still cooking. Um, you should probably expect another episode to drop somewhere around the time that this episode drops, maybe a couple days after, or maybe it's already out. I don't really know yet. I'm actually in the middle of editing one right now. So he's doing really well. I think he's getting a lot better with the cooking. He's definitely coming into his own in front of the camera. He has tried his little hand at directing, which I think is hilarious, and he wants to produce his own stuff to an extent. He's looking to create small clips of him just kind of freestyling it and saying things without worry about me having to script certain things for him, and I really love that. So now to me it's like he's taking, not only is he taking like an increased liking to it, but he's also taking on some of the like creative direction. So he's asking me, "Hey, I want to say something. I want to do something." And I think that part is really, really cool. So he's really investing into that, and it's making me happy to see it. It's kind of like he's flourishing and he's really enjoying it, um, even more so than I thought he would. So he's always excited to cook. He's always excited to record, and even in the times where he just doesn't really feel like it, it's an open question. Like, "Hey, Dom, I'm gonna cook today. Do you want to cook with me?" Nope, I don't feel like it. All right, well, that's fine. And I let him say no because this isn't a job; it's a hobby. It's a thing that we like to do for fun. Um, and if he doesn't feel like doing it, and he wants to just go ahead and keep playing or whatever, fine, forget it. It's not a big deal. So some of that is also contributed to why um we haven't recorded as many as we have, because he's just been like, "Ooh, I'm tired," or "I'd rather play," or whatever it is. And I let him do that because he's 6. He shouldn't be forced to do this thing that I think is cool, and he thinks it's cool too. But he's not even getting paid for it, so it's definitely not a thing that I am just like going to demand that he get done. So that's cool. What else do we have? Um, I haven't done anything for Mad Black Dad in a while. Um, and that kind of hurt a little bit. I was in a space where I felt a little confused. I felt a little lost, trying to get my footing, what I want to do, how do I want to do it, what does that look like? Like, I've known some of the things for sure, um, but now it's like I need to plan. I need to plan. I need to strategize, and some of that took me to like get really low into it and just not really um, put a lot of stuff out there, not really do a lot, get myself together, strategize a little bit, and I think I'm almost ready. We're approaching the winter or the, I guess, Christmas holiday or the holiday breaks, between Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's, things like that, where everybody shuts down, and I think that's perfect for me in a way. Because I'm gonna shut down too, but I'm also gonna take that time to like really focus in and really hone in on things that I want to do for 2024. I have a lot of cool ideas. Um, some stuff that I was doing and then took a break on, but I want to like get back out there. So I'm going to be working on that too. So I'm really excited to get into the meat of what I want Mad Black Dad to be and what we can do. Um, and we is not, I say we, it's like not my multiple personalities or anything, but I want to collaborate with people. I want to work with people that, want to do good things in the community, that really want to work with families. And that's where I'm at. So I'm going to spend the next couple of weeks mostly during this break, getting everything together. And I'd love to hit 2024, hit the ground running. And that's the plan. That's the goal. We want to do a lot of things. We want to meet with a lot of people. We want to create. I want to continue working with dads. I just really want to, you know, do really dope stuff for really dope people. Um, so that's a bit of the catch up. This podcast is going great. Um, even though I haven't done anything, I really want to connect with other dads. Um, there's I need. I've talked to a couple dads that have been um, co-parenting, and I think that's great. I really want to get in touch with some single dads who are doing it all on their own for whatever reason. And I also want to talk to uh, same sex dads that are also parenting, of course, and what that looks like, whether they're co parenting um, with uh, the mother or just the co-parenting as well, just between them and their partner. I really want to get into some of that, and what their view of parenthood and dadhood specifically looks like, and how they're you know um working with the those differences in relationships, um and things like that, and how do they support their kids, especially when they're like kids like school age and things like that, and does that become a topic of conversation, and what that all looks like. So if anybody hears this and they know any same-sex dads, I would love to get into contact with them. What else am I looking for? I do want to talk to some older dads, and I want to talk to some guys that actually aren't dads yet, but of course they want to be. um Not like it's a dating site or anything, but definitely something that's like really honing in with these young guys that maybe they're just dating, and they want to be a parent, or they've thought about what that could be, just because they may be in long-term relationships or something like that. Because there is like dadhood, but there's also like pre-dadhood before you even become a parent, or you're not even thinking about it, but you're just a single guy, or a guy that's dating. But being a dad or being a parent has just never really like been a thing. And just let's talk about that journey or that process, or where you are in that space. um it's just something I really want to get into. I'm really interested in where people are and what people are doing in terms of like wanting to be a parent. um it's just fascinating. It's fascinating. um but I love it. um Dom is doing great. Dion is doing great. Oh, she's so big. We call her Little Boosie. Not really because she bad. She's just active. That girl be everywhere. It's hard to keep up with her. Like when Dom was that age, Dom would just be super chill. He probably want to be held every now and then, but super independent kid. Didn't want much, or anything like that. But Dion, she she everywhere. She climbing, she jumping, she running, she yelling. Her favorite thing is our lazy Susan, where we keep all of our seasonings and stuff. And I'm working on a computer one day, and I hear her just in the TV room laughing. But it didn't sound like it sounded menacing almost. I'm like, let me just look and see what the heck she doing. She took some seasoning. I can't even remember what it was, but she popped the top open and she was pouring it all over the front. Like she knew what she was doing. She was seasoning the floor. And had to snatch it up, had to clean it up, give her a little flick. Like, stop doing that. But it didn't stop her. She kept moving. I took it. She went back to the Lazy Susan, grabbed another seasoning, tried to pop that top open too. I'm like, oh no, no, no. This is what we're not doing. So uh I've since barricaded the seasonings. She's not allowed to touch any of the seasonings or the cabinets. Uh, she'll try to get the cookie sheet, use it as a surfboard. She don't care. She do whatever. A little baking pan, if she can fit in it, she'll sit in it. Just a little ham, but uh, she's a sweetest little girl. Oh, oh, love her. Um, but she active. She active. And I be having to stay on my P's and Q's. I can't zone out, scrolling on my phone or trying to do no work. I got to keep an eye on her, and that's how it is. That's how it's always going to be with her. I feel like that forever now. Um, but it's fun. It's fun. Um, I think that I'm noticing at least. Uh, I'm starting to age Dom a little bit, and I try not to, but I sometimes I do, because he's 6, and I think he's so mature, and I think he's so smart, and he definitely is. Um, and I'm thinking like, where was I at 6? It's like it's 96. I'm living in Alaska. None of that really matters, but like, what's the stuff that I'm watching at that point, right? Um, and I'm pretty sure that like I'm watching like Power Rangers and other little cartoons like that that make you want to, do wrestling moves and karate moves and all of that stuff. And he's not so much into that. And that's fine. Every now and then I might catch him trying to watch an episode of Ninja Turtles, which is funny. Um, but sometimes I caught him like really enthralled in Sesame Street one day, and I'm like, "You're 6. I know that you've seen this episode, but like you glued, like you not like you haven't seen it." And I'm like, man, is he too old for Sesame Street? And sometimes he absolutely is. At least I think he is. But then I have to think back, like, he's only 6. Sesame Street still probably like falls along those lines, and I probably shouldn't have been watching like Power Rangers and wrestling where they, doing all the little gestures. Because wrestling back in '96, we had like, it was WWF, it was Raw, like they was doing whatever. So I guess maybe I shouldn't have been watching that. He has no interest in wrestling. He has wrestling action figures, but he has no real interest in wrestling. Not to mention, I couldn't name half of the toys that he had at this point, but it doesn't matter. I do know that he does have Mark Henry, right? But everybody knows Mark Henry. He's been wrestling for forever. I don't even know why he had that. Somebody gave it to him. It's cool though. But yeah, like Dom he's only 6. I shouldn't be. I know that I shouldn't be rushing him to grow up, but I guess I felt like maybe he should have been moving a little faster at some point. But now I just accept it. Like if I catch him watching Paw Patrol, he's watching Paw Patrol. If I flip back and I see him watching Rugrats, he's watching Rugrats. Lately he's been watching YouTube kids play Minecraft. So fine, I'm letting him do that. I learned quickly though that I had to do that on kids YouTube because I caught him saying some. Yeah, he wasn't cussing, but I didn't like the stuff that he was saying, and I can't even remember the specifics of it. But it made me uncomfortable. So I'm like, yeah, you can watch these streamers, which is fine, these little YouTubers, but you definitely gonna do it on kids YouTube, because too much stuff was getting through with like the regular YouTube, even though he was searching like kid stuff. So no, had to nip that one in the bud quickly. So it's much better now. But I just find it so interesting how I or we were, I guess, matured faster than we ever really needed to be. Because just think about the stuff that you was watching or doing when you were 6 or 7. We probably shouldn't have been doing some of that. But here we are. And I think the role, of course, of being a parent is just trying to It's a weird process, but you got to cut out the stuff that you didn't like or that you find, just wasn't best for you, and then add in and try to figure out something to do that's actually positive or like intention. So instead of just, oh, I didn't like that because my parents didn't do it, like, no, I'm gonna try this because I think it's beneficial for my kid. Um, which I guess kind of leads me to my next thought. This is all just really like a stream of conscious, though I did write down show notes. I 100% write down show notes. I always write down show notes, but this one is a bit of like a stream of conscious. Um, we talk so much about wanting to, like, in parenting, we just kind of run from the stuff that our parents did, specifically the stuff we didn't like. Um, and then we like pour into our kids in a way that's like, well, basically we can't fix ourselves through our kids. And we can't fix ourselves through our kids. We cannot right our parents' wrongs through our kids. So like whatever they did or they didn't do is done. Like what's done is done. I can't go back and, undo my parents' divorce or moving a bunch or, the feelings I had as a child. I cannot go back and fix those for a dime or even for myself. Um, but as I focus in on the parent that I want to be for Dom and the way that I want to raise Dom and Dion, I definitely have to, I guess that's part of my consideration, but it also has to be something that I know is like, I didn't like that, but I can't fix that. What's done with that is done. That happened 20, 30 years ago. For me and my kids now, it's about doing, what's best. And that doesn't, like I said, it doesn't fix what happened. It's just knowing that I can't do it again. I can't let that same situation happen twice over. Cause like everything isn't a generational curse. A lot of stuff is a generational curse, but everything isn't a generational curse, you know? And truth be told, we could be like that catalyst that like prevents it from becoming a generational curse, or we could be the thing that's like starting it up. Like if it happened once, it's not a curse. If it happens twice, now we're creating a pattern, starting to create a pattern. Um, and we could be this space where we are right now as parents or as adults, as dads. We could be we're basically in the spot to change it. We can make it or break it, you know. And I think that's something I always try to consider. Uh, of course, I'm not like in my everyday parenting, but like in those times where I am it's just me and my thoughts, or it's me and my journal and my pen and my pad. Like that's when the thoughts really come out, and that's when it's really time for me to like reflect on the type of dad I want to be and the type of man that I want to be. And I don't know. It's just during those times that's where you really want to consider it. Mm. I really like Andre 3000's album. Um, this isn't like a music podcast or anything like that. I'm not about to be doing the latest albums and the latest music and doing all the trends, but I think that album was special, um, in a way that I guess one, honestly, it opened me up to a new genre, I guess, of music. New to me. It's not a new thing at all. There's plenty of people out here playing flutes and acoustic instruments and making albums out of it. Or people playing their saxophones, violins, flutes, clarinets, all that mess. Like they've been doing it for years. Um, but I think because of who he is and what he's meant, at least to the culture, is what makes it a little bit special. And on top of that, it's just really good. It's to me, it's great thinking music. It's great calming music. It's great mood setting music, depending on the mood that you're going for. But I think that what stood out to me the most is the risk that he took with it to record this type of album. Um, and it was kind of like a not a paradox shift. I'm trying to think of the word for it specifically, but you had this thing, and you're really, really good at this thing. And for whatever reason, you feel like you don't have it anymore, but you've picked up something else. And for him, it's the flute and all these other flute types that he's been playing. But he's dedicated himself and dug into almost like a reinvention. And I think that's special because I think that we should be able to reinvent ourselves. Um, as and I look at that as like parenting. I look at it as being a dad. It's okay to have a belief or have this feeling about who you are as a parent, as a dad, and you have something that like shakes your core or changes your perspective. And it's okay to explore that. It's okay to explore that and surrounding yourself with people that are also supportive of that exploration. I listened to a lot of his interviews. Um, I haven't finished a single one of them, but I've listened to quite a few of them. But one of the bigger things I remember, I think he did this on a like Torre show or something like that. He was talking about how had a he would play, everybody would see him and spot him, and then he meets other people that also play or that know something about it, and now he's building this community of flute players or people that know about instruments and people that also play instruments, other musicians. um and that is probably what struck the biggest chord with me, was that when he was a rapper, he had a community of rappers, and they had different beliefs, they have different sets, they have different ways, and it was like the culture of what rap was. And that that he grew and transitioned as that uh grew and transition. um and then he went through a reinvention, if we're gonna call it that, or reawakening. I don't know what he decides to call it, but it's a shift. And now he's straying away from rapping and more into um playing this flute, being a flutist. And now he has a community to support that as well. So it just continues to remind me that no matter what we're doing, no matter who we are, who we think we are, who we want to be, um, we need community to support it. We need community to support it. And, I think the same with like podcasting. I think the same, especially, most importantly, with being a dad. You gotta have other dad friends. Other parents, of all walks is great, but you really want to have like other people that dig in and identify with being a dad. Um, because it changes. It changes. You know, having friends with no kids is fine. It's, you know, interesting. Yeah. But having friends that also have kids is cool too. And I find it more important and more valuable now. Because now I can, you know, not only can I trade stories, but like I can also trade information. This is what worked for me. This is what didn't work for me. I'm down right now and I'm struggling with this. How did you do it? Because you have a similar story to me, or you have a similar family makeup as me. So if I'm doing this, what did you do? And how did that help? Or did it help? Are we struggling at the same time? Um, all this to say is, man, we need community. We need community. And I don't know. I hope that I've been a good community member to those that call me friend, to those that also call themselves a parent or a dad. 'Cause that's all I really look to do is just build community, show love, show support, and just try to do dope shit. Um, I really hope that, you know, that's what's coming across when y'all talk to me or when I talk to y'all or when you know, we're trading stories and stuff. I really hope it. I really hope. I really hope. That's all I can hope for is that y'all are receiving the love that I'm trying to put out. So peace, blessings, hopefully. I got something else written down. Uh I just thought many days I talked to seems like, oh no, I wrote that one down. I read that one through that. Healing yourself through your child. You can't really heal yourself through your child. You got to do your healing on your own. Your child has to live their life. It's not their responsibility to heal us. Um, we can't heal ourselves through our child. But what we can do is we can talk about it. We can write about it. You can come on the podcast with me and we could talk about it on there, on here. Um, yeah. What's on the next page? I don't have much. This is actually a short one. But I do want to talk about this. I have I want to interview Dom. I want Dom to come on here, sit on screen with me. I have a chair and everything. He can sit next to me, or on my lap, whatever feels best with him. Um, and I wanted to interview him. I want to ask him um, what he thinks of me as a dad, what I could do better, um, the stuff that he likes, the stuff that he doesn't like. Um, I'm a little nervous. I have not, and I will not prep him for it. The most I'll say is that I want him to record a podcast episode with me. So that should be interesting, but we'll see how it goes. Super nervous. Um, but that's all I have for this time. The next time that y'all see or hear my voice, as far as this podcast is concerned, you will also hear Dom's voice and see Dom's face. I'm sure that is going to be a good one. I hope I'm going to give him the stage to tell some jokes, to talk about Chef Dom cooks as much as he'd like. This is also be a chance to get to know Dom outside of cooking because he's a really funny boy. Whole lot of energy, super lovable. Um, he's really one of my favorite people in the world. Um, period. Like adult, child, baby. Dom is top two, and well, that's my guy. That's my guy. As usual, you can see it here on the screen and on my shirt. Mad Black Dad shirts are always for sale. I do want to expand into other types of clothing. We have shirts, sweaters, hoodies, but I also want to expand into a couple other things: Scully's, sweats. I do want a Mad Black Dad sock. Oh, if I can get those. Let me plot on those. Those would be really dope. Mad Black Dad socks. I want some. I'm gonna make a pair. I'm gonna let y'all see those in a bit. Whenever that happens. 2024. Count on it. Count on it. The men's group, formerly known as For Dads Only, is coming back in 2024. It's gonna have a new name. It's gonna have a new look. It may have a new location. I'm unsure about that. But that's coming back in 2024. Um, what else am I going to do? We're gonna have more guests in 2024. I'm gonna be back to do a wrap up. This is not the wrap up episode. I will have a wrap up episode. So you have at least two more episodes of the podcast before the end of the year. You will. There's also my book, To You From Me. It's a book of journal prompts for parents to fill out, complete, and give to their children as a keepsake. I love those. You can buy it and give it to your parent for them to give to you. You can also buy it and write in it for you to give to your child. Perfect for birthdays, perfect for Valentine's Day if you want to like give that to your kids. It won't be ready for Christmas, but it will be a perfect Christmas gift. Mother's Day, Father's Day, sentimental days like those, or heck, you can do it just on a random Sunday. Those are for sale right now. Links will be in the description for everything. As usual, follow me on social media, Mad Black Daddy on Twitter and Instagram. I mean, I don't really use TikTok, but Mad Black Dad at TikTok. I have a Twitch, don't really stream anymore. Actually, I don't even remember my Twitch name right now, so don't worry about the Twitch. But Mad Black Daddy, TikTok and Instagram, Mad Black Dad. No, Mad Black Dad on Twitter and Instagram. I'm gonna cut all of this. Mad Black Daddy on Twitter and Instagram. Mad Black Dad on TikTok because I don't use it. Keep up with me on the website diaryofamadblackdad.com. There will be new blogs to be written. We'll be dropping recipes from Chef Dom Cooks. Please also watch Chef Dom Cooks only on YouTube. And that's all I have, y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Stay mad.